I'm hungry, day hungry. What's trending? Presented by Tim Daly Nissan, part of the Tim Daly Auto Group, serving Utah since 1968. BYU and East Carolina set for Greenville, North Carolina on Saturday night. The Cougars on the road for the first time this season. If you missed it yesterday, 6.5-point favorite for BYU.
I hear that's up to 7.5.
Wow. Okay, so people still like BYU more than the initial odds makers line.
Crazy. We're
going to learn a lot about Bear Bachmeier, we think, when he makes his first road start, because it's just start number 3 in his college career. Yesterday, East Carolina head coach Blake Harrell talked about Bear, the BYU freshman quarterback, in his weekly media conference, and we want you to listen to what he said.
He's a bigger kid. I mean, he's 215, 20 pounds. You know, looks more like the Army quarterback from last year than maybe a traditional quarterback, a guy that's bigger, can run the football. Doesn't really look like a freshman out there in the first 2 games. Now, it hasn't been a lot of stress, and, you know, everything's been smooth and easy going for him, but he's looked really well and throws the ball really well, too. So he certainly creates some challenges, but at the same time, you know, we got to make sure we make him be a quarterback. We stop the run first. Put him behind the sticks, make him throw the football, make him sit back there and they protect it, and make him make full field reads down the field. And, you know, our crowd can certainly be a factor there as well. You know, the crowd knows to be huge. And, again, they've had 2 home games. So when they're on offense, it's been pretty quiet for him. Now, all of a sudden, he's on the road. He's across the country. I think he's originally from maybe California. So he's coming to the East Coast maybe for the first time. So let's make sure we give him a warm welcome. And then defensively, yeah, we got to disguise some looks, give him some different things in there. I think right now he's more locked in on a certain receiver and how they do things and getting those guys open on the deep sell routes and deep benders. So we got to make sure we take those first reads away and make him get to a second or third guy, and that'll also give us a chance up front to get home.
51,000 fans fit into Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. Understandably, they want a home field advantage, and they want to make Bear Bachmeier feel that noise and pressure. Some telling things in those comments, Jarom. So what stands out, aside from him wanting to have a raucous home environment?
Where's the fantasy analogy or metaphor? It was Centaur from Portland State. We didn't hear anything from Frank Reich. Where's Blake
Just straight
Harrell's
military, like the Army quarterback?
He's like the Army quarterback. That's no fun. The Centaur was awesome. The thing that he said that stuck out the most was he seems to lock onto his first receiver. That is probably a thing he's noticed on film, of course, and a freshman attribute. So obviously, you know, you got to look off the first. If it's not open, get to the second. Certainly things are going to be a little different, by the way, without JoJo Phillips. Parker Kingston didn't have a great game. Hopefully he can kind of snap out of it, be the guy that we know he is, and Chase is your main guy. So Cody Hagan kind of put out there a little more. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's what sticks out the most is, oh, he's kind of locking onto his first receiver. Okay, true freshman. Perhaps that's the thing he needs to look off the safety and then go here. You know, these are all things, trust me.
Yes. This
isn't news to Bear or Aaron Roderick. Aaron's probably the first one that's been like, hey, you're a little too obvious on locking on that first guy. I guarantee they've had that combo.
Well, if they didn't have that combo yet, they've certainly had it.
For sure they've had it. They, like, on a bye week, they always talk about, we self-scout. That would be a thing they would have talked about.
I'm not sure I would say that out loud if I were an opposing head coach about the opposing quarterback to add to that rhetoric, because now maybe Bear is even more inclined to go and make sure that doesn't happen. Whereas if the defense is preparing for him as a true freshman quarterback to be locked into the first guy, I don't know. The gamesmanship before the game is interesting, and how much do you want to say without tipping off your opponent? And I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make if he says something like that, but I was a little surprised he got that specific that early in the week.
Thank you for that nugget.
Indeed.
We want people to have an opinion in these press conferences. That was great.
Yes. They called the stadium the Fick, okay? And East Carolina fans were in my mentions yesterday. I got tagged into this somehow.
I only had 1 or 2 going, you think it's going to be a blowout?
Pleading,
I should have said that with an accent.
East Carolina fans pleading for their own to show up because the BYU alumni group is positioning.
Nothing says desperation like, they're coming to our stadium. We need to. BYU fans show up. Oh, they traveled.
BYU fans are flanking to come in and surprise them. Now, by now, you got to know the BYU fans travel well.
Yeah, in 2017.
They show up well, I should say.
Yeah, show up. Yeah, exactly.
And they will again. But I thought that was really interesting that, again, there's some desperation. No. BYU fans are trying to buy all the tickets. Don't sell them to BYU fans. Oh, good stuff. Be heard.
And that's when it's okay to just be like, yeah, I'm totally an ECU fan.
Yes, indeed I am.
That's gamesmanship, not lying. Just wear a purple shirt in your profile for this week. Okay, BYU released an updated depth chart ahead of Saturday's game, unlike Utah, at East Carolina. Here's some notable changes. Waylon Lapuahu, Justin Kirkland listed on the depth chart, which is great. Still no Che Bryant-Strother, who is injured. Cody Hagan is listed as the third starting receiver for JoJo Phillips, who is injured. What do you make of these updates?
Well, I'm glad to see Waylon Lapuaho and Justin Kirkland back in the depth chart. We hoped that they would be back and available for this game, certainly by the Big 12 opener against Colorado.
Yeah.
This can only help BYU in the trenches when you're talking about two veteran players who have made an impact in several meaningful games. Also, I want Waylon's leadership and personality on the field.
Yeah.
He's a natural leader for that offensive line, and I think he's going to do great things to help BYU establish a run game that we feel like has to be established to take pressure off of Bear Bachmeier in his first road start. I don't know if he's going to play. I'm hopeful that he will. I think Waylon is more likely to play than Justin Kirkland is this week. I don't think Justin Kirkland has to play this week on the defensive front.
No.
But I feel like it would be beneficial if we could get Waylon back out there and see what he can do, what he's capable of to help add some depth to that offensive line.
Justin Kirkland isn't needed to defend a good run game until Arizona, maybe West Virginia.
Yeah.
So Colorado is not looking to run a ton, right?
West Virginia will run, so maybe that,
yeah,
to your point, that's the
weeks.
one where he's needed on the front.
Yeah, and Jaheim White got hurt out for the year. No Che Bryant-Strother. We know that he is injured, and Kalani said he'll let Che kind of announce what the situation is there. It doesn't seem like Che's going to be in the mix for a minute here,
which
if
stinks.
not longer, which really stinks.
He was playing his best football.
He was battling with Siale Sia there. Cody Hagan sticks out quite a bit because now it's like, yeah, this is the guy. They rolled him out in media availability. That means they want to give him some more of the spotlight. He now gets an opportunity to touch the ball more. I want to see him more in kick return. I love this kick return against Stanford. I love the, obviously, end-around tornado reverse. That was cool against Portland State. He's got good hands. His speed is his greatest attribute. So I'm excited to see kind of what that means. There's a natural attrition associated with the football season. People get hurt. Other guys need to show up. They need to be in the mix. They need to emerge as a guy that you can trust. And I think Cody Hagan's going to be one of those guys for a couple of years, which is awesome.
I said it a while ago and discussed it with Fesi Satake, but I feel like Cody has a lot of attributes that Gunnar Romney does. He's not quite as big as Gunnar, but I think his hands are super reliable. I think he's a really, really smart and intuitive receiver. He has an unorthodox running style. Which is
interesting because he's one of the fastest kids in the history of the state of Utah.
So I think you watch him run and you're like, oh, he's not that fast, but he is.
No, he's like...
because of the form.
He's like low 10 point whatever in the 100.
Yes.
He's fast.
And Fesi called it unorthodox, the way he runs, just the way sometimes he catches the ball in his catch radius. He's like, it's not typical to what you would see your normal receiver do, but he's like, it works for him, and it's almost an advantage for him.
Yeah, around these parts, we've been told we're unorthodox Christians. We have our own way of doing things. So does Cody when he runs, but that's who we are, and we love it.
I don't feel like, and this is not in any way, shape, or form meant to discredit what JoJo Phillips is capable of, because JoJo, I believe, is a talented receiver and was playing his best football.
We wanted to see him take that step forward.
Yes, I thought he would. I thought he'd be BYU's second leading receiver.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there is that much of a drop-off. I think they're different players, but in terms of production available for BYU, if you don't have JoJo available and you have Cody in there, they'll find different ways.
Let's see what he can do.
They'll find different ways to get Cody involved and use his best assets to get BYU the production that JoJo would have otherwise provided.
I want to see deep threats to Cody. I really do. Obviously, laterally, you want to get him the ball to try and get in space, like the tornado reverse. But I want to see him down the field. I want to see a super deep threat. Chase Roberts, you think he's the best offensive player I think BYU has. LG Martin arguably could be that guy too. Let's see what happens with Cody. And Parker needs to have a good game. This is an important game for him.
Bounce back
coming
game
off that.
For his mental state.
Yeah.
Honestly, just to establish the confidence.
We know he's a good player. Let's just get a good game under the system, flush that other one out.
We have some data points now surrounding the Big 12 Conference as we approach week number 4, but obviously there is still much to be learned. We're going to present a number of fill-in-the-blank statements about what we feel like we know to this point when it comes to Big 12 football this season. Our first statement is based on something that Trevor Maddich said on Maddich Monday on our program yesterday. Let us remind you of that now.
The best team in the Big 12 right now is Utah. And as long
All
as
right, thanks for joining us, Trevor. We appreciate the time.
Maddich declaring Utah is the best team in the Big 12 right now, okay? So with that in mind, let's opine further on who we think the best team in the Big 12 is. Jarom, fill in the blank. Blank is the best team right now in Big 12 football.
Texas Tech. Give me Texas Tech. They've looked really good in all three. I know the competition hasn't been great, but that's the same thing with BYU. Like, just dominate that competition. They put up 67, 62, and 46 points. They've allowed 7, 14, and 14 against Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State. They should be 3-0, and with all those talented transfers, they've come together and they've looked good. To me, Texas Tech looks like the best team. I could see the argument for Iowa State, but honestly, it's kind of weird what they did last week, playing a one-score game with Arkansas State. I see the argument for Utah. I think if BYU had one more kind of blowout win, it'd be the same argument that I'm making for Texas Tech. Give me the Red Raiders right now.
Yeah, hard to argue with the style points that Texas Tech has put up. They look absolutely dominant, and they look fast and physical and uber talented and deep. So I totally understand why you would go that route. And frankly, in my mind, I thought maybe it is Texas Tech. But for the sake of having a different opinion and for the number one team in my Big 12 power poll, I'm going to go with Iowa State based on not the style points per se, but because they have the most influential data points. And that is they have beaten Iowa. They have beaten Kansas State in a weird early season game in Ireland. And good teams find a way to win close games. Like, that's a sign of a mature, veteran, solid, good team. When you can win close games, and they've had multiple already this season. They're just really well coached. Their defense doesn't give up a ton of points. I know their offense hasn't been as explosive outside of a 55-7 win against North Dakota, but they're doing enough. And so right now, when we're talking about, okay, well, what have you shown me? What have you done? What's the actual data in the win-loss column? Good teams find a way to win close games, and so I'll give the nod to Iowa State because they've played a tougher schedule than Texas Tech. Now, if Texas Tech beats Utah on the road this Saturday,
the winner of that game is the best team.
Absolutely.
Just if Utah wins, they're the best team in the Big 12 right now.
All
Blank is the most overrated team in the Big 12.
Okay. This is always fun. It's always fun. These are the ones that end up in your mentions as well. Like, oh, how dare you!
Social media right now is like, we're going to clip this one off and mention the school's account.
Okay. I'm going with Arizona State, Jarom, the most overrated team in the Big 12. I feel like Arizona State is dealing with something that BYU had to deal with when BYU lost Tyler Algier. Arizona State lost Cam Scadaboo. And he meant so much to that team, just like Tyler Algier did to BYU. Now, BYU, the year after Algier, was still a good team, but they clearly were not the same. They finished 8-5. They had a 4-game losing streak, but they went in with high aspirations because of what Algier and the Cougars did the year before as the de facto Pac-12 South champions. I just think that while Arizona State does have speed and talent and a really good quarterback, Cam Scadaboo is like a generational type player for Arizona State. Like
if you had a head that size, you would too.
My goodness. And he was playing well for the New York Giants last Sunday as well. Like, he's making an impact as a rookie. Right now, they're not as good as everybody thinks that they are. They lost to Mississippi State. To me, Arizona State is the most overrated team in the Big 12.
Most overrated to me is Iowa State because I have them 3rd or 4th in the league, not 1st. So the fact that they're 12th in the AP poll, the highest ranked Big 12 team, I think they should be kind of in the high teens. I know they're 4-0. They have the only ranked win in the league, by the way, against Kansas State so far. They're good, but I don't know if they're great. The one-score game against Arkansas State's a little weird. And the fact that, yes, they did beat K-State, but K-State's 1-3, like they're not as good as we thought. Is Iowa good? That's a good win in your rivalry game. Yes, they won the games. Credit to them. But it's mainly because they're 12th in the AP poll. I just don't think they should be that.
That number's too high. That's where the overrated
That's
comes
where
from.
the overrated. I think they're good. They're probably very good, but I need to see it against better competition.
Yeah, I'd probably put them at like 16, Texas Tech
Yeah.
17, Utah 18, like those three teams in a row in the AP poll.
I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know. To me, the style points of Texas Tech, I like that more than why did you play a close game against Arkansas State? Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next fill in the blank question. Blank is the most underrated team in the Big 12 Conference.
Biased opinion here. I think it's BYU. I think BYU is the most underrated team right now. I think that defense is awesome. Yet, we need to see BYU against better competition, for sure. They get an uptick this week against ECU. We'll see it against Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona. We'll have a sense of what is BYU. And even those first three in the Big 12, Spence, not until you get to Utah, Texas Tech, Iowa State, TCU, will we really know how good BYU is. BYU could be 6-0 and still not the best team in the league. They'll need to play tougher games, and that offense needs to show us a little more for us to put them over the top.
Starting with this week.
But the defense has been so good, I put BYU as the most underrated team in the league right now.
I hope Arizona is a good football team so that BYU has a test at Arizona.
They don't play a tough schedule. So Arizona, I think, will be undefeated when BYU plays.
Ooh.
I think that could be a battle of undefeateds, and we still don't know how good either team is after.
Strange. If it's not BYU as the most underrated team in the Big 12, Jeremy, I believe it's TCU. I think I'm a firm believer in Josh Hoover, and Sonny Dykes, I think, has rallied the troops. That defense has been flying around. Oh, yeah. Cliches.
Like, we got a flying around?
It's just flying around.
What time is it? 10? It's too early for that. Jeez.
I think TCU
wait until 2 p.m. at least.
Is a problem for the Big 12 this season. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if TCU is in contention, if not in the Big 12 championship game in Dallas by the end of the season.
Nice.
Yeah.
Want to say, again, I don't know how good they are either because I don't think UNC's good.
They're not.
They made them look foolish, but they put up a bunch of yards and points.
I feel like TCU is just like BYU.
Yeah.
Right? Those two teams.
And their thing is their offense.
Yes.
BYU's defense. Okay, who is the blank is the surprise team in the Big 12 so far?
It's the aforementioned Arizona Wildcats, 3-0. I wasn't sure that they were going to escape even Hawaii and certainly not Kansas State without a loss. They were in a weird place last year, and they had Tetero McMillan, one of the best receivers.
They're better without him?
Yeah,
Eighth pick in the draft?
What?
The Panthers?
So I wasn't sure what was going to happen with Brent Brennan when there was so much turnover and he had to fire some people on his staff, and they looked so bad at the end of last year, and they lost one of the best players they've ever had in program history, wide receiver.
Don't forget Tyler Loop was drafted their kicker too.
Yes.
Like he's awesome.
But they seem to be better. And so they have surprised me.
Yeah.
Arizona beating Kansas State, as bad as Kansas State has been, Kansas State was still a 1.5-point favorite going into that game in Tucson. And Arizona, for the most part, handled them. So they're the surprise team for me. What about you?
No doubt, Kansas State. Kansas State is the surprise team. They're 1-3. They're supposed to be good. They're supposed to be awesome. All one-score games, by the way. 3-3, 3-6. They could be 4-0 so easy. They could also be 0-4. I mean, they're lucky they beat North Dakota. They are the surprise team to me.
Yeah.
Like in a bad way.
In a bad way. That's true.
The question is not inherently positive. It's just neutral. So I was like, surprise? I'm surprised by K-State.
All right. Those are our fill-in-the-blank Big 12 conversations for the moment.